Welcome to this complete Google Ads tutorial. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner. By the end of this video, you're going to know everything that you need to know about running profitable Google Ads. In this video, I'm going to cover how to set up all your settings, how to launch and scale profitable Google Ads. I'm going to cover the types of ads that you need to run, how to research competitors and get Google ad ideas, also how to read the data in the Google Ads account so you can make great decisions. And finally, what you should be doing as a brand owner on a daily basis in the platform. But first, let's cover who Google Ads is for. Because Google is so massive and it's capturing people with demand intent, meaning they already want to purchase the item, it's generally used for almost every single business. Unlike Facebook, where we're doing demand creation, where we're trying to interrupt them and educate them on the product, Google is lower down the funnel, so they have higher buying intent. This means that no matter what business you are, you should understand Google Ads and understand the concepts we talk about today. For today's video though, I'm going to be covering e-commerce, and you're going to follow me along step by step while I set up a campaign for an e-commerce store. So the first step for me is I actually need to go to my Shopify store to set up the proper tracking. Generally, you need to make sure that you get all of the settings correct on your store and in your Google Ads account and what's called a merchant center before you can set up any campaigns. This will ensure all of the tracking's correct and you don't burn any money. So to do this, I'm just going to go to my Shopify store, which I've already set up. Then I'm just going to go to apps. And I'm going to write in Google. And this one will pop up, which is Google and YouTube. Now, if you're a really, really experienced brand and you're doing millions of dollars, you don't want to be using this app to set up all of your tracking. There's more experienced ways, but if you're a beginner or you're just getting started and wanting to test the platform, this app is more than fine. Click install. Click install. Now from here, we're going to click connect Google account. Now, it's really important that we use either a Gmail or a work email that is connected to like the Google suite. And we want to make sure that everything that we do over the next few stages is all under the exact same email because we're linking them all together. I'm going to click continue and click allow. And now it's going to be brought to this stage here. So we've got a few prompts here. This is Google Analytics. We don't technically need that right now. What I really want to set up is Google Ads. Now I'm going to go through these stages and just make sure that this is added. And I'm just going to add this returns policy. So just go through all of these sections. Now we'll be prompted to connect a Google Merchant Center. If you don't have one connected to that Gmail that we just set up before, you can just click create new, and it should automatically populate one under that Gmail. We can click connect, and this will automatically start syncing our products to this Google Merchant Center. That's now then been approved. Now we can keep going down here, and we just want to enter a phone number. If there's something not selected here, make sure you just click select and enter it. Scroll down. One thing that we want to make sure is this conversion tracking is set up. And then we scroll down to I have read terms and conditions and click continue. Now, the next step is we want to come down to, there should be a section here. If you don't see this, you can just write in Google Ads. But for me, I can just click get started and it'll take me to this connect to Google Ads account. I can just click create new. If your pages look different to this, always just feel free to go to ChatGPT and just ask it questions. Then I'm just going to click create campaign. Next up, I just want to go to this Google Ads account. So I can either click on here or I can just show you how you can check your Google Ad account that's now been automatically created. All you need to do is just make sure you've got that email selected and you're logged in. As I said, it needs to be a Gmail or the Google Suite. Click sign in and it should automatically take you to this ad account. You can click up here if you need to change an ad account and they'll be there. The way that I've done that is the quickest way with Shopify. There's no reason that if you're not using Shopify, you can't just go to Google Ads, sign up for an account, and then just skip the walkthrough, and you'll be taken to this exact page. You can also do this with Merchant Center. Simply Google Merchant Center and create a new one, and then link it to the ad account. So the next thing that I want to do is before I launch my campaign, I'm just going to come to the Merchant Center, and I'm just going to click sign in. And I'm just going to go through all of these prompts because they'll generally tell you what's going wrong. So these are not approved. We can just click products that need attention. So you might be wondering what's the difference between Merchant Center and Google Ads. The data is feeding from the Shopify store, so where you've set up all of your products. Then it's getting pulled into the Google Merchant Center to be approved, and you can apply certain settings from it. Some of this will be automatically, as I said, pulled from Shopify. And then the ads platform, Google Ads, is pulling directly from the Merchant Center as well. So I'm just going to go through these sections. So this is just missing shipping information. So you can also come up here to find certain things, but it's also on this left-hand side. We can come to shipping and returns, and we can add a shipping policy. Now this is going to match what you have set up in your Shopify store in your shipping section. So I can come down here, go to shipping and delivery, and I can come into here for my Australian zone. So I've got standard shipping, 7 to 10 days. I'm going to add my other countries. Click continue. Select all products. It's 1 to 3 days. Transit time is 6 to 8 days, which will then make the total delivery day 7 to 10 days. And then I'm just going to do flat rate, $7.99. Click save. And click done. Then we can come back to products. So now we're back on products. You can see that there's a little tick here, which is saying that it is showing on Google a little bit. But if I do click into this, there's still going to be things that need attention. Let me just come back here. Needs attention. Pretty much what we want to do is we just want to keep working through all of these issues. I'm not going to show it all in the tutorial just because it's going to take too long. But it will also take 2 to 3 days to even get approved in the Merchant Center. So we want to make sure that we're not in a rush with this kind of stuff. We just need to make sure that we set up the Merchant Center maybe first. But that being said, we can still go ahead and launch some ads for it. And once that's approved, it'll all start pulling through. So let's head back to the Google Ads section. So there's actually a fair few different ways that we can set up a campaign, especially with a brand new website. If you have no sales whatsoever, and you're just wanting to test this channel or even test the product, which is the situation that I'm in, you can easily set up just a Performance Max campaign. Now, Performance Max is a campaign where it kind of goes to all placements around Google. It's going to go into search ads. It'll go onto Google shopping ads, which I'm sure you've seen, and it'll go everywhere. This is basically Google taking control, saying, you don't really know what you're doing. Let me try to convert this for us. Just give us as much information as possible and we'll make it happen. The type of campaign that we're going to set up really depends on where your business is. So if you're just a brand new website and you're trying to kind of get a little bit of data on the product or whether Google is viable, and you don't have a huge brand already, which is the exact position I'm in, then you're going to treat it really different to something like the Udi or someone that has been scaling on Facebook or has had a really big business for a long time and they're just like, I'm finally going to go onto Google. They're completely different. I'm going to show you the brand new website because I'm assuming that's kind of where you're at and try to describe the best way to set that up. In Google, we have a lot of placements because they own so much of the internet. If I just write in best plumbers, you'll see this section here. So this is what's called Google search campaigns. Now, this is quite a good placement to have, but when we write in something like best socks for running, we will see the main campaign that all e-commerce stores will be running and the most budget will be going to, which is called Google Shopping. Some other placements include YouTube, which is obvious. You've all probably used YouTube. You're probably watching this on there now. But we also have the Display Network, which is a network of just blogs and a bunch of the internet that Google pays people to host their ads on there. So it's really quite confusing. Where do we place it? This is why they've created this new campaign about a year ago or so. They created the campaign called a Performance Max campaign, which is similar to, if anyone's watched my Facebook videos, it's similar to an Advantage Plus campaign. With the Performance Max campaign, we're just going to give it a bunch of assets. So we're going to give it some images, headlines, all of that kind of stuff, our logo. Then Google's going to go around the internet and place these ads in certain places. Granted, the majority of it is going to go to this Google Shopping ad. And this is why it's really important, because this Google Shopping ad is pulling directly from the Google Merchant Center that we set up before. That's why it's so important to, before you run Google ads, to set up that Google Merchant Center correctly. If this is all feeling really confusing, don't worry, we're going to set it up step by step. But first, I want to give a disclaimer with Performance Max. Some Google experts, rightly so, will suggest setting up a search campaign initially and a Google Shopping campaign manually rather than Performance Max, because they are therefore controlling where the placements is going and getting a lot more data. This will then allow them to really hone in on the learnings and make other decisions when they're setting up their Performance Max at a later date. I don't suggest this for most of the people watching this video because you're just a beginner. So I want to get you a little bit of data. I want to get the campaign launched, and then we can analyze and optimize the campaign structure, creating other search campaigns, creating other exclusions as well, which I'll explain towards the end of the video. So let's get this campaign running. So to create our first campaign, we just click New Campaign in the ad account. Then we want to come to Sales. Ignore all of these things at the moment. Then we can scroll down. You can check this conversion action, the error. Mine is currently inactive, either because I've done something wrong. I don't think I have, but I think it's just taking that 3 hours to verify. So I'll check on that later, but I can still continue. Same with the Merchant Center, considering the products are populating. I can still continue and get my campaign set up today. Now, these are the campaign types that I was talking about before. We've got search, Performance Max, demand gen, display, shopping, and video. I'm going to come to Performance Max, click on that, and it should select that Merchant Center that I've already got. And then we can change the campaign name. So Performance Max Testing. And this campaign name won't affect anything. This is just an internal tool for you. So next we've got the bidding strategy. So we've got 2 options here. We've got conversions and conversion value. If you had a store with 10 different products and you had socks, but then you also had a $150 jacket, a $300 product, if you just selected conversions, it very well may push towards optimizing for the cheaper product because it's easier to convert a cheaper product. There's less buyer decision. But if you selected conversion value, it might give you a better optimization there because it's optimizing how much revenue is coming. I'm going to select conversion value. Mine's a single product store. It's fine. So to calculate what your target return on ad spend is, I will leave a free calculator on millionaires.com that you can calculate it. But basically what we want to do is we want to find, let's say we're selling a product for $100. Then it costs us $40 to get it to the customer. We have $60 left over. Let's say we want 20% profit left over. So we'll need to minus another $20 from that existing $60 that we already had. That means we have a target CPA of $40. To turn that into a ROAS, we do 100 divided by that $40, which equals 2.5. So I can set a target ROAS here of 2.5, which is actually 250% here, because Google talks about ROAS in just a little bit of a different way, just to keep you on the toes. So 2.5 would be 250%, 2 would be 200%, and so forth. But for me today, just because I want to make sure I get some data and I want to try to find the true kind of cost per acquisition and true ROAS for this product, because I just have no idea if it's even going to work, I can just remove this and I'm going to get a little bit more data. Because if you put metrics in here that Google just can't fulfill, it just can't make it happen, it's just going to spend way, way less and it's going to slow down your learning. So then I'm going to go to customer acquisition. So you've got optimized campaign for acquiring new customers. This is not applicable for you at the moment. You can just leave that. And then I can come into countries. I'm going to enter in all 3 of my countries. So I've got all 3 of my countries there, and I can scroll down. I can leave languages, and then we can come to this thing called brand exclusions. Now, one thing that's really interesting about Google, because Google is kind of this like last click place that people go to. So you set up a billboard or something. People are going to see that, and what are they going to do? They're not always going to see the URL in the bottom corner of the billboard. They're just going to go to Google and search it. If they search your brand name, chances are that customers kind of already going to go to your website anyway. And we don't really want to give Google the same amount of money to that customer as if we were to someone that maybe was Googling a competitor, or maybe they're just Googling for socks in general rather than our peak textile socks. So we want to spend more for the customers that have no idea who we are and we want to spend less for customers that we may have already spent a little bit of money educating. Now, if we just give Google free reign to do whatever they want, they're going to mash all of that together and take credit for kind of everything, which is not good. So we want to come into brand exclusions. And for this one, we're just going to add a new brand list, and we're just going to call it Peak Textile. And then we're just going to add the brand, and we can just click request a brand, and we can enter our URL and click submit. And that's going to go under review. So I am now excluding, if someone went onto Google and wrote Peak Textile socks, this campaign that I'm setting up, these ads that I'm setting up, shouldn't actually show. But you're probably wondering, don't we want some ads there? Yes, we do, but we're going to do that again in a separate section with a little bit more control towards the end of the video. So next, I'm just going to click save. And then I'm going to click next. And you can see this asset generation, it's getting much, much easier. So for this, we could easily come into here and grab this, put this into ChatGPT and say, give me categories for PMAX campaign that I can add for, just paste the section. And we can just grab a bunch of these, plug them in. Then we can scroll down here. This is pulling directly from my website. You can use ChatGPT to create this, but I'm pretty happy with that. Then I'm actually going to remove these social media. Then we're just going to click generate assets, and it's going to pull from the website as well as your social media. So we can just wait a little bit for that to populate. And also some images down here, which we're going to work on ourselves. So we just want to make sure that we grab this final URL. Now I'm actually going to use my product page because it looks way better. It's actually optimized. So I'm just going to put that there. So if you're wondering what does make a good headline, we can just come into a new browser and we can go Google and we can go best socks. And a lot of them are going to be shopping, but we can just click through. Oh, there's some here. So you can just check out some of these other people within the industry, and you can get a few ideas that way. Alternatively, what we can do is we can come to ChatGPT and we can grab our product page. We can go create me 15 headlines for Google, make them creative, and study my product page. So these headlines look good, but one thing you'll notice is there's 30 characters here. We've got short headlines at 30 characters, then we've got long headlines at 90 characters. What we want to do is we want to go make some less than 30 characters and 15 more less than. Cool. I'll just punch that in. Cool. So we can just punch those in. There's not too many of those. More, please. Always be polite to ChatGPT. Cool. Now we've got some. And we can just punch these in. Remove some of the things that you don't think are compelling. Now we do want to give it all of the options because, as I said, Google's just going to mix and match and make things happen. Make sure that we've got kind of two, if you've got multiple avatars, let's say you're selling to mums, but you're also selling to grandmas, make sure there's a couple of headlines and assets for each of those demographics. So for me, it's going to be hikers and also builders. Cool. Scroll down, sub some of these long headlines out. Actually, they're pretty good. So next we've got the descriptions, which is going to be this section here. So we've got the headline, then we've got the descriptions. So I'm actually relatively okay with these descriptions, but realistically we can always come back to here and create descriptions. Cool. And we can copy some of these. So they're too long. So we've got, create descriptions under 90 characters. And we can send that. and we can paste them in. So you can see we've got one short description here at 60 characters, then the rest are 90. So we can paste some of those in. I think these are all good, just not the socks and hosiery. Nobody says that. So we can paste that in. Actually, that can be the short description. And then we'll grab this long one. And paste that in. Then we can scroll down to images. Now, for images, one thing that you can do is you can go to Google Transparency Center and come into here. This is just basically the Facebook ads library. And you can come to e-commerce brands like the hoodie. And you'll be able to see a bunch of image ads that we're probably running through our Performance Max campaign. So you can see there's just basic lifestyle images with influencers. There's some with like reviews on it. There's some big graphics where we're talking about the features and benefits of the product. We've got proper photo shoots with offers on it. All of this kind of stuff is great to add. And to do this, we pretty much just want to go to Canva and we want to import some of our images. We can just start with a square image for now, and we can import some of our images like these ones, and then we can just put different offers on it. We can also just come into templates and we can just write in add, and you can see some of these templates here which seem appropriate. We could grab this one, bunch of different ones if we want to call out the offer. We could also write in features, and we could grab this image, change out this one, drag this in, remove the background, and just have a play around with this, changing this over. So I'm going to do that in my own time, but for this, so I'm just going to click plus. I can grab all of these images from my store already. They're completely okay. And then I'm going to upload a couple that I already have that I uploaded for Facebook ads. Which is this one. Now, if you had your social media, you could click website and social media here, scroll down and select them. Make sure you're adding 20 images. If I had to give you some advice, I would definitely say spend a little bit more time creating some of these graphics and just studying the Audi ad library and getting some ideas there, because just having images for Performance Max that have no call to actions or no features or anything like that is not going to optimize performance. Then we can scroll down and we've got logos. Now we can add these logos. I'm going to add my black logo with no background on it. So that's the black logo, but we also need a square one as well because it will crop like that. So you could grab your icon if you wanted, or you could shrink it down to be similar to this. You can add some with transparent backgrounds. You can add some that are square. You could add some with white with transparent backgrounds. I'll just do that as well, just to give it as many options as possible. Try just grabbing that. And then click save. Now, one thing I should have probably showed you before is what are we doing? Like how are these ads all going to show up? What we want to do is we want to come to this section up here, which is preview, and we can actually see where some of these ads are and how they're actually going to look. So we can go to search up here. So you can see if we change these headlines, this is going to change. We can also click through this and see a bunch of different examples to see how it's going to preview. So we can check out the Gmail ads, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to scroll down here and we're just going to say this pick textile that would have auto-populated. Then we've got videos. Now the videos are primarily going to be displayed on YouTube, but we don't have to set this up right now. We could upload some of the Facebook ads that we're creating for the brand and put it in there. I'm just going to leave that for now. So for here, site links, this can be really good, especially if you've got a store with a bunch of stuff going on. So for us, we've only really got the contact us, which is a little bit annoying. But let's say we could put this about us, or we could change this to our mission, and then we could add the site link. So we do our mission, affordable, comfortable socks. Then we just want to put this URL here and chuck that in. And we want to just add a few site links. We could add our sizing guide here on its own page. We could also add things about sustainability, just whatever unique things that you've got on your website. Now, for site links, you might also have for example, men's or women's, if you've separated it, which is a really, really good way to go about it. And then we've got the call to action, which we want to leave as automated. So I will explain these more asset types. This promotion tabs is really good. I am running a buy one, get one free. So I might set that up for Black Friday. You just click the occasion type and set that up. Alternatively, we've got prices. That's kind of not really that important for us. Calls, I don't have a phone line set up, so I'm not going to use that. Call outs is another really good one. This is just another place where we can just give Google more data. So we can do free shipping over $70. Then we might just do the buy one, get one free in the call out for now. And then we could just do the perfect gift. So just anything unique. If it's made in Australia or the US, you'll just call that out as well. Just going to apply that. And then we've also got structured snippets. We can leave that. Lead forms, we can also leave that. Now we've got signals. So we can add, this is basically pushing Google in the right direction of where we want to advertise. It's not exactly targeting these things, but it's just giving it kind of a little bit of a push in the right direction to accelerate its learning. So you can't really stuff this up. So I could just do socks. I could do hiking socks, workwear, that kind of stuff, and see how that goes. And I'll also just add alpaca socks. And then we've got audience signal, which I'm going to leave and just click next. And then we come to budget. Now, depending on your budget, and if you're just getting started, this might feel really, really high. I'm just going to set this at $20 today, because I'm also going to be setting up a second campaign where you might remember I have excluded my brand from this. So when someone sees my Facebook ads and they write in Peak Textiles, it's not going to show up. So I need a little bit of budget left over for this branded campaign as well, which I'll massively reduce the budget for that and reduce the target acquisition, because one thing that we're going to notice is that we will probably be seeing 2 or 3 times the cost per acquisition. So the amount we have to spend for the things that aren't branded, which is okay because we haven't spent any other budget for those customers. So I'm just going to click next here. And realistically, I probably should have named this Performance Max non-branded, because this is the non-branded campaigns. Sorry about that. And if you want, you can click through these and add some of these things. I'll add some more site links in a little bit as I fix my website. And I'm just going to click Publish Campaign. Now that's going to prompt me to enter my payment methods up here. So I'm going to click Fix It and create new payment profile. Make sure this all matches. Then we can add a payment method, add the credit card, click Submit. And then that should go through an approval process. Because that was so easy and we didn't spend a huge amount of time optimizing the ads, doing research, it is likely that we're going to have to spend some time to optimize it, getting things right. And just data needs to come through the account. I have, however, seen multiple brands that I've launched where, because there was just nobody advertising on Google Shopping for that product category, that setup absolutely flew. And so it's definitely worth, in the validation stage, you getting used to setting up something like that to start getting some data. But we definitely also want to set up the branding campaign, because that's probably where we're going to get the most results, because we're driving traffic through Facebook. So what I want to do now is I want to come to this Performance Max campaign. I'm just going to click down here into campaigns on this left-hand side. We can see this one here, non-branded. So I'm just going to select this campaign, click copy, click edit, click paste, and I'm just going to click paste. This is going to create a duplication of this campaign, and then I'm going to edit it. And I'm just going to edit this label first, and I'm going to change this to branded so I know which one I'm changing. Click save. Then I'm going to edit the campaign. Then I'm going to come down to additional settings, and I'm going to click this brand exclusions. I'm just going to remove that, and I'm going to click save. Now, one thing I could do is come into this budget and bidding, and I'm just going to change this to be far less budget to $5 a day. And I also could come into this and change the target return on ad spend, like I was talking before, to a much higher level, like 2, 3, 4 times the amount that this one is getting targeted at. Because again, these customers already spend a lot of money, maybe educating them, and we don't want Google to just take more money from us. But instead, I'm just going to leave that for now because again, I'm just trying to get data through for the tutorial. So that should update. We got $5 there on the non-branded. This should show up for Google Shopping now when someone writes in Peak Textile, which I think is going to be important. Also, this is going to start popping up for things like best hiking socks, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's let this run just for a little bit, and then I will walk you through the actual results. Plus, I'll also probably show you a Google Ads account that has a lot more spend and how to optimize that kind of on a daily basis. But we'll see how we go.